Knockout of the week. We had a good week this week. Last week we had Ben Whittaker winning. The week before that we had Bam Rodriguez. This week we've got some real competition. The votes were split. Now, there was a lot of events going on last week. One that went a bit under the radar was Opetaia, who got a seriously good knockout, which you will see in a second. We had Frank Martin at 140 pounds. And he, let's just say the ghost is back. And then we had Conor Walker, who I'm disappointed, by the way. I won't ruin the who won, but got no votes, Paolo. No votes for Conor Walker.
No love whatsoever.
No love. But they were good. I thought him putting someone out of the ring, him putting Pat McCormack out of the ring would have done it. Clearly not for the people. Right. Paolo, who do you want to see first?
I think, you know what I want to see first? Opetaia, man.
You'll see Opetaia. Okay, let's watch.
Nice look. But if he circles his lead right hand too much, Cinkara just fires off a jab. Oh! It's over! Wow!
That's what boxing does.
Wow! Opetaia knocks Cinkara out!
Mental. I can't believe that. That is not that we don't have a clear winner this week, by the way. Because look, let's just show you Frank Martin. Let's just show you what times.
So Frank Martin breaking through in the fourth. And there it is! Mamma mia! One hitter! Quitter! Are you kidding me? The ghost just scared a bunch of...
That's what Frank Martin does. Brutal. Now, I know I've already told you didn't get any votes, but I want to put some love on Conor Walker's name here because this is of level of the three. He removed Pat McCormack from the ring himself. Didn't let Pat McCormack even get the option. So look, we're going to watch that too. We're going to play that now, and then we'll announce the winner of Knockout of the Week.
He's desperately trying, but he's going to be knocked out here. Pat McCormack, Conor Walker has done it.
And there's Conor Walker removing Pat McCormack from the ring. Now, I genuinely thought that would get a bit of love. I thought people would like to see that. That's unusual.
It's hard. Frank Martin's one, I think I rank as first, Opetaia second, and Walker third. I understand why. When you compare it to the other knockouts, it wasn't maybe aesthetically as pleasing to the eye as the other two.
It's not a one-shot KO. Now, I do want to put, by the way, an honourable mention out there because I feel like we're going to talk about it a little bit later anyway, but it needs a mention, and that is Elif Turhan on Beatrice Ferreira.
Oh,
and I haven't... Actually, you know what? We're going to play the clip as well. This wasn't in the voting. So close competition. I went with Conor Walker. Maybe I've made a mistake.
You know what makes her so scary?
What?
She can't speak English, yeah?
Mm.
She speaks Turkish, innit? And she just sits at press conferences and you can just, even though you can't understand what she's saying, unless you speak Turkish, I feel what she's saying. I feel it. Like he's a very direct, down the camera, very, very, very scary woman.
Very,
very scary woman. Listen, I ain't seen a female with power like that for a minute.
Never.
Nah.
I think we'll be having her back on Knockout of the Week very soon. I'm not going to lie to you. I can imagine she will knock out more. But for the winner, and it's funny you said Frank Martin for your winner, because with 60% of the votes this week was Frank the Ghost Martin. And as the commentary said, he's scaring everyone at 140 because we knew he could box and now he's got crazy power. What we doing? Frank Martin against Reese Bartholomew or Barthélemy rather. Let's watch it back one more time. Let's just watch it back in a bit. The slow-mos. Let's watch the slow-mos of Frank Martin doing what he does best.
Really
This one's
matters.
right down the chute. Got his whole body into it. Landed it clean.
Unbelievable.
Got that angle, and good night. And that looks like Bartholomew's sitting up on a stool right now, but what a great shot right there. You see him pull that right hand down, and then boom, straight down the shot. What a perfect angle, perfect picture,
Sublime
perfect left hand.
southpaw shot from Frank the Ghost Martin. That man is scary.
you pulled that right hand down, and Bartholomew created that perfect space for it.
And that is knockout of the week. Well done, Frank Martin. Again, we don't have a trophy. I've actually got one on the way though. Like genuinely, it is ordered. It will be here hopefully for next week. If it's not here for next week, I've had an issue. But again, to Frank Martin, I don't even. Oh, there we go. I was going to say I don't have my water bottle here, so we got the aerosol can. That is for you, Frank Martin. But you do not stink because you're a winner. And now let's move to the weekly roundup. Weekly roundup. We got a lot to speak about this week. We almost started speaking off of camera, and then I had to stop us because me and Paolo speak a lot, obviously, and we have to be careful with what we say because we need it on camera. Look, actually, let's just start where we were about to start. Vidal Riley he signs with Misfits, the pretty well-known influencer boxing circuit, but he signs with Misfits Pro. Misfits Pro, for people that won't know, it's still owned by KSI, still ran by the Sauerland brothers, so Vassman Boxing are to some extent involved. But Misfits Pro is normal fighting, basically. It's Vidal Riley fighters, professional boxers on Misfits Pro. We disagree here. It'll be interesting to see what people think in the comments. I think this is a good step.
Do you know what? From a commercial point of view, yes. I just need to see what this Misfits Pro thing is saying, because I don't really watch Misfits. So for me to sit here and say that I understand it, I'll be lying. But I associate Misfits with Misfits. The platform itself, yeah, and respectfully, there are people that I know that are probably going to end up on it at some point. But it is kind of what it is. Like when we separate it, Misfits as a brand is what it says it is. Misfits, yeah. But then recently they've started introducing like better boxers into the Misfits circuit, which is probably what's made the birth of Misfits Pro, because they're thinking, they want to get in to the pro leagues, right? As opposed to an agency that also manages fighters. Now, from what I understand, I'm assuming they're going to be a promotion. To compete with the likes of Boxer, Matchroom, and Queensbury in this country. I mean, the problem is that not a clash of interest with Sauerland Promotions?
I imagine that they will be moving with Misfits only in future.
Okay.
I think there'll be a merger. So a couple key things that people should remember, although it is the same name and it will be the same parent company, it's going to be ran separately. So you're not going to have influencers on a Vidal Riley undercard.
Yeah.
This isn't confirmed, but the idea from what I've made out and what I've read is that this is a legitimate pro boxing promotion. Mm-hmm. The first signing is Vidal Riley, which makes sense because if you do know about Misfits, you know about the influencer scene, KSI was trained by Vidal Riley for some of his fights. So there's history there. They're good friends, all the rest of it. For Vidal, he's getting two legitimate, proven promoters in the Sauerland brothers, alongside the stardom and selling ability of the sort of KSIs. And he's the biggest name that they have. He is the number one. He's the star of their show. So And also, he will be getting paid more because no doubt KSI can put a hell of a lot of money away into these shows than some of the others. So it to me makes sense. There's not a whole lot that I can really say from a personal point of view because I don't watch Misfits, but in the few times where it started up, their production value is very good.
I understand.
It's on the zone. I mean, it's a good platform to be on.
I understand why the element of Misfits, and the whole thing around it. But as a fan of professional boxing, and don't get me wrong, they've got some good fighters I can see that are joining the shows or rumors to be on there. Yeah. Andrew Tate taking over the influencer stuff. He might get more people who can actually fight on there. But historically, Misfits is a shambles. I'm just going to be honest with you.
But is it? Yeah, because it makes a lot of money. But it makes a lot of money.
It makes money, appeals to the YouTube crowd, but gets no respect from the professional boxing world purely because.
But are they trying to get respect from the professional boxing world?
I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. Yeah, a Misfits card. Do you know what? Let me bring this point up. Get me 5 of DFC's best fighters against 5 Misfits fighters, and I'm not talking about the MMA fighters that they're paying X amount over. I'm talking about their homegrown talent. Yeah, DFC fighters that you're telling me. Does Joey Essex beat anyone on DFC? Not a chance. Sorry, not any of the top guys. he's a fighter for them though. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There is a level of I love DFC.
You
are right. You are right. There are some
we
fighters.
Got a female Clarissa Shields on our show. Put her against any of the women on Misfits.
I'm not saying that DFC don't obviously have a chance, but you got to remember the money in Misfits. Joey Essex trains out of Tony Sims' gym, and he doesn't have to do anything else. That guy's not doing a full-time job.
But they are terrible at boxing. In terms of...
But you just said you don't watch the show. I'm not defending Misfits here.
All right,
but if you don't watch the show, then we can't...
Clips come up, though.
But this is what I mean. But they're marketing
you're in a boxing
geniuses.
Algorithm. It's a boxing algorithm.
But they're marketing geniuses, bro. They will post the shit.
100%. The platform itself has brought new eyes to the sport. I will agree with that. Yeah, but
I think we need to watch Misfits.
The quality of the shows is a shambles. I'll be honest with you. Bro, the girls that were fighting on there when I watched, we done one before with this. We covered a Misfits card before. True. The girls were a shambles. The boys were a shambles. The card was a shambles. Their best influencer fighters per se, and the likes of Salt Pappy, who's good for that level, but he can't mix it with the pros in a serious fight like that.
No, of course.
I understand they may spar with the pros, but sparring is different to fighting, bro. All these guys.
I think Misfits Pro is a good step.
If it doesn't bring any of the stupidness over from Misfits, I'm here for it.
I think that's the point. It's a separate entity.
We will see. It will generate a lot of money, and they might sign some good fighters from it. They'll probably be picking off a lot of boxers fighters. I wouldn't be surprised if they take some.
That's the theme at the moment, isn't it?
With respectfully, boxer are getting fighters taken off from left, right, and centre. Caroline Dubois just moved to MVP. I know we could talk about that in a bit, but it's just an example of it. Vidal Riley, like we were saying before, one of their big stars commercially has gone. A platform like that would probably suit him better money wise, but they've got to navigate. I mean, Sauerland, yeah, cool. If the Sauerlands are involved, that's fine, but respectfully, KSI wouldn't have a clue on how to promote on the level that Eddie Hearn and them lot can do it.
Again, I'm not sure I agree.
What?
Because we're
take the Sauerland brothers out of it, yeah? KSI.
Bro, you got to think about the guy's career.
He's got money. I hear it. He's got money. But
how did he get that money? How did he get that money?
He boxed on
through
Misfits
views
and YouTube and
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously,
The guy, the one thing that guy knows how to do.
He sat in a bedroom. Yeah, he sat in a bedroom and made football content and blew up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The one thing he
this,
knows how to do is sell himself, is sell whatever he's trying to sell. That's what he's best at. That's why he's got a living. That's why he's got Prime, which is realistically, I've had it once and I thought it was shit. Most people I know think it's shit, and yet that is one of the biggest drink companies in the world. How does that make sense? They are brilliant at selling stuff.
Commercially,
they will sell these fights.
But in terms of the professional boxing, that you need to have an eye for it as well and be able to.
That's where you pay matchmakers, though. That's where you get these guys in.
I go back to a quote, though. Yeah, I don't feel like unless you've competed, say at a similar level to where you're representing, which is why he was good at Misfits because he fought on it. Right. Yeah, he was good at it, but I don't feel like if you've got no history at a certain level that you're promoted, like you're a promoter at, you're going to struggle with not just the whole process of dealing with fighters, etc. Flip said it before. There's an element of it dealing with Salt Pappy's different to dealing with with Jay Opetaia.
Yeah, but look at Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's
been in the pro game though for how long?
Yeah, he's never had a fight.
His dad, he boxed amateur for a couple fights.
Okay, 2 amateur fights. Like that's.
Right, but his dad.
But I'd argue KSI's got more fighting experience.
Yeah,
he's done it in front of a stadium of people. Like, I can't believe I'm defending Misfits here. But...
Against YouTubers. I just don't agree with it. I think
against Tommy Fury. As a boxer, it's not a good boxer.
Tommy Fury is a YouTube boxer, bro. Whether people like it or not, Tommy Fury is a YouTube boxer. He's got a pro record, and the fights that we've watched him in on pro cards, Journey would have taken him to 6 rounds.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's not been badly impressive.
I'm not saying he's great, but I'm saying we got to look at this for what it is. It's a promotion. Look what Jake Paul's doing with MVP. It's the exact same thing. Jake Paul has made MVP into a legitimate. When that started, people were saying, "No, this is a joke. Jake Paul's a joke of a fighter." Not going to.
But MVP, really from the start have been having professional boxers on their cards.
Yeah, but it's the same thing because
but I mean like professionals that compete in the pro.
But Misfits Pro is just the same thing as MVP starting. The difference is that we know about Misfits. So we have a different idea of it, but I genuinely think this is going to work.
If it's got no relation to the Misfits YouTube stuff, then I'm happy. If it's got any relation to the Misfits YouTube stuff, it's a joke. No one on that Misfits platform, including the MMA fighters, not Misfits Pro, Misfits YouTube.
Yeah,
none of them can mix it with any of the current professional boxers now. What MMA fighter has come over to fight proper professional boxers and win? And Molly McCann is not an example of it because she was a boxer before she was an MMA athlete. So I'm not even trying to accept that
one. We could argue about this for a while because most of the MMA guys come over and fight a world champion.
But to specific MMA guys, and look what happened. The most dangerous MMA athlete, the most dangerous MMA heavyweight come over, lost against Tyson Fury. I don't care what people say. He lost. He got outboxed in the end. He might have rocked him a little bit, but Tyson Fury was out of shape. Didn't take the fight seriously. Still boxed his head off. Yeah. Joshua concussed him.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't actually think God had done anything to Joshua in that fight.
No. Joshua folded him up like a piece of paper.
Like a deck chair. It was
bad. Deck chair. Yeah. But all right. Look,
Misfits Pro.
The key point. Misfits Pro is starting. I think it's going to be legitimate. I think it's going to be something that you're going to be forced to watch because it's on the zone.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
And another key point is, although we knew Vidal Riley was out of his contract with Boxer anyway, that's another one with Boxer gone. And then Caroline Dubois, as we mentioned, we're not talking about this too much, but Caroline Dubois has also signed with MVP, meaning Boxer have lost another fighter. And I have to say, I could be wrong. This is purely just in the moment thinking, but are we looking at Lauren Price and saying, why has she not got a fight date lined up? All the female fighters seem to be moving to MVP. Is there something
Makes
in
sense.
that? I don't know.
Makes sense.
Like that is not a story. That there's no rumor about that, but it's just like it feels like Boxer would want her to be fighting. The last time she fought was Natasha Jonas.
Yeah.
Long layoffs always stink or something else going on. So, and as far as we know, she's not injured. But yeah, anyway, the point is, Boxer are leaking fighters, and we've been saying for a while. It's bad.
For the people that I know that boxing it, I hope it does well. Honestly, for them, because it's their careers on the line. But right now, as a boxing fan, they had a good first card. They got another card this month, I think. But boxing now, I mean, I hope that the fighters that are fighting on Boxer right now don't get fucked over.
Yeah.
Because some of those fighters need regular fights, bro. Regular fights. And if they've got a 1-year contract and they can only do a certain amount of shows a year, depending on what that boxer feels, some of them might want to fight for on as many cards as they can get on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's got to make sense as well. Because ticket-wise, all these fights at the moment seem to be... Well, the two fights seem to be up... Both of them been up north, innit?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I hope it does work for the people that I know that are involved with Boxer. But
I agree. It's good to have more promotions.
As a fan, from looking the outside, looking in, and then seeing these fighters leave and big stars that they're losing, it's not looking good for them. I'll be honest.
No, but we'll see what happens. One of the more interesting things is they haven't signed a fighter in a long time. But we've spoken about Boxer like the last 3 weeks. It's just worth noting to add on to the story. Caroline Dubois has now officially left as well, and Vidal Riley obviously before out of contract, but now has signed with somebody else. So, other than that, the only other small bit of news that I want to bring up, because it doesn't matter, it does matter, but it's Badu Jack is headlining on Saturday against Noah Mikajian. He's defending his WBC cruiserweight title. The card is, I'll be honest, rotten. It's terrible. I think the co-main event is someone that's 9-1. I think under that, there's not many fighters with more than 10 fights on their record. For a cruiserweight title fight, that's stinky. But hopefully Badu Jack can win that and then fight Jai Opetaia, who fought on Friday last week, won by knockout, as you saw in the knockout of the week. But he was not happy with himself. He actually said he fought like shit, which is interesting. He was actually, I think, up on all the scorecards by 6 rounds to 1. So got the knockout in round 8. He'd only lost a round up to that point. And he thought he was pretty clearly upset after the fight, thinking he'd fought terribly, which is interesting. We'll see. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a really good sign or someone that's a bit too hard on themselves, but I guess they all are going to be. And the only other point with Opetaia before we move into maybe the slightly deeper conversations of boxing this week, that I want to wish Opetaia's opponent, Hussein Cinkara, a speedy recovery, or we want to speedy recovery. He's had a small bleed on the brain and fractured. I can't remember off the top of my head. His C1 vertebra fractured as well.
The dangers of boxing.
I believe he is out of hospital now. But it was pretty serious damage, obviously. Especially when a fighter actually gets up and is okay to walk about and then has to be admitted to hospital later, almost a day after. That's when you know something was a bit more serious. But you are right, that is the dangers of boxing. Just hopefully he does make a recovery. He is 40 years old as well. So, I don't know, potentially time maybe just call it a day. I don't know. I don't know enough about him, in all honesty. Everything I've read suggests he probably shouldn't have been fighting at world level anyway. But that is what it is.
That's Jay Opetaia's last fight in Queensland, Australia, before he part of a because he's got a co-promotional contract from Matchroom, and then obviously in Australia as well.
Yeah,
that will be his last fight in Australia, from what I understand as well, from reading on a couple of things, as he goes now to fight outside of Australia. I read that earlier, to be fair. So I'm guessing Saudi cards, a fight in the UK would make hella sense, but he's chasing, but then he's got to be the right opponent. But also he's chasing world titles and he's not getting a certain fight at the moment. But that looks like Benavidez will get that fight for Cinco de Mayo, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit of a weird division, cruiserweight. There's a few good fighters and a lot of not as great. Opetaia realistically needs to fight Gilberto Ramirez, but we know who's avoiding that fight. Yeah, hopefully that's next. Like you say, if he's not fighting Australia anymore, if he's fighting a Saudi card again, that would be ideal. But I truly don't believe that Jay Opetaia is avoiding anyone. I don't think that is the kind of person he is. So it is what it is. At least he's staying active. That is good, because Gilberto Ramirez is not. No real fight news for him, and Cinco de Mayo is not that close either. So could be a while before we see the other cruiserweight champion in action. Let's talk about Monte Carlo. We had, I think, one of the best non-Saudi events in maybe years. Only 5 fights, 4 knockouts, a fight that could have gone either way. Let's mention Johnny Fisher first. He wasn't the main event. Bash. Let's mention him first. He gets knocked down in round 1. It wasn't counted as a knockdown. We had 3 of those in the event, but it was counted as a slip. But he was hurt. He was wobbled. He gets up and gets the job done in round 4. Good win.
Listen,
against a good opponent.
I think he had a lot on his mind following the Dave Allen fight, in the sense of probably a lot of people talking about him, negative comments about what he can do or how far he can go. We had a conversation about it. Look, I'm not going to shy away from it. And it was kind of a question of, as a boxing fans, how far can he go? But I think you can learn something from sort of any conversation you have, that especially with heavyweight boxing, you are like 1 or 2 fights away from a big fight, depending on your performance.
Yeah.
And a loss doesn't really mean a massive amount now. It don't. He used to hold people at ransom sometimes, but it doesn't. If John Fisher's he needs to have the experience and fights and keep on doing what he's doing, and he spars around the world and spars with different heavyweights, different styles, and he's getting better at it. Boxing wasn't his first sport he played. He was a rugby player, innit?
Yeah.
So I think there's that to mention as well. Like obviously some of the guys he's fighting have been pro. Like we talk about Dave Allen. Dave Allen's an experienced heavyweight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Experienced heavyweight at all levels, amateur, professional. Probably bundles more experience than Johnny Fisher's had.
Definitely.
So look, he had a great knockout. I hope he pushes on and does well and kind of see what's out there for him. If I was him, I would be targeting the likes of TKVs and these guys.
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
I think he's got a very good chance in a TKV fight, or go up get a victory against Fraser Clark, another fight he can aim to get, and then bounce off that one and go on to, like you say, challenge or chase for the British. Like there's options and routes for him there, and he's still young. So I wish him all the best, man. Like I hope obviously he proves the doubters wrong. and proves what's been said about him and cracks on and carries on because it was a good knockout.
Yeah, it was. It was a good knockout. He knocked him down 2 times before eventually stopping him all in the same round, round 4. Showed that he's still got his heart, which I don't. To be honest, if anyone's doubting that, then I think you're an idiot. Like Johnny Fisher is not lacking heart. He is lacking some things that you tend to lack if you don't have the experience of others, but he does not have an issue with heart.
I think it's down to experience, that though.
It definitely is. Definitely is. This is the thing. He got a good win. Ivan Balaz was 9-0 with 7 knockouts. He was a late replacement.
New coach
with Johnny Fisher as well. It was kind of scripted almost to go wrong. Tony Sims. But I think round 1 did go wrong as well. I think maybe just tried doing a bit too much in round 1. If you watch the fight, you'll maybe understand what I mean by he was feinting almost everything. He was throwing jabs to the body, then going, I need to go to the head now, and never really let the right hand go. So Balaz, I think Balaz just kind of thought, you know what, you're doing a lot. There's a lot going on in front of me, but nothing really scary. So Balaz just stepped into him, caught him with a good left hook. It did put Fisher down. It should have counted as a knockdown. It didn't. Doesn't obviously matter at the end of the day. A little bit unlucky for Balaz, who maybe would have liked it, but realistically, he lost in round 4 anyway. Good win for Fisher. Then, not in chronological order, but we also had Conor Walker and Pat McCormack, which was just 12 rounds of war. As always, it just always is with Conor Walker. Every single time that guy fights, it's worth watching. He might be the best fighter in the world to watch. Just for pure entertainment. The guy, he's unbelievable. And he gets the knockout in round 12. Brilliant. But respect to Pat McCormack. That's a big step up. Pat McCormack's 8-0, 9-0, something like that. Takes a fight against Conor Walker, who's had 20-plus fights, and we've seen Conor in wars before, and he's won them. He generally does win that. So for Pat McCormack to take that fight and go the 12 rounds and only get caught late, and then also is a little unlucky because he went out of the ring, but he didn't get fully out, which means he doesn't get the 20-second count. If you fall completely out of the ring, you get 20 seconds to recover. Pat was really all out but the feet, which meant he still only got 10 seconds. You can see Ben Davison complained a little bit, but I think Ben realistically just wanted Pat to have a chance at recovery, and we know Ben Davison doesn't fuck about with his fighter safety. He would have pulled the fight, but it was a really good fight. And then we're going to talk about what I still don't even believe what I've seen. Elif Nur Turhan versus Beatrice Ferreira. Yeah. Now, I read the record. We read the record, 11-0, 7 knockouts.
No, she's serious, bro.
A relatively, not quite, but relatively unknown female fighter who doesn't hold a world title, or didn't. And then you hear it, Beatrice Ferreira, 2-time Olympian, gold medalist, silver medalist, world champion within about 4 fights. And we've seen Ferreira. Ferreira's unbelievable, 8-0, 2 knockouts. So for me, I was watching it, and I know I saw the 7 knockouts, but that could be anything. And I went, Beatrice Ferreira's going to win this. Sorted. Round 1, Elif Nur Turhan lands a shot that seemingly puts Beatrice Ferreira down. Round 1. It gets counted as a slip, which has happened a few times on this event. Again, it didn't end up mattering, so it's fine. But I remember saying on the live stream, I don't think I've seen a woman hit like this in my life. We then go a few more rounds. And everything she lands, everything she throws is from the hip. There doesn't seem to be much technique behind it a lot of the time. Sometimes she'll get back to a more orthodox sort of normal stance. And then she'll go, no, hell for leather, I'm just going to hit you. when this woman hits you, she kills you. It is like I can't even explain how unbelievably powerful she is. But we get to round 5, and she just knocks her out, like very clean, standard knockout, but not something you see in 2-minute rounds. Not something you see from female fighters in 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
I can't believe what we're seeing. I feel bad for Beatrice Ferreira, almost, because I don't think there's many fighters that expect they're getting in there with an animal like that. By the way, after she won, she's just won her first world title. More than likely, just got herself quite a large promotional deal with whether it's Eddie Hearn or MVP come in or whoever. She's probably just put herself on the map. So she's changed her life forever. Not a tear for the first sort of 5 minutes. It was only when she started doing the interview that she got some emotion. It's like the Terminator.
Yeah, she's a scary. She's scary. She's scary.
Yeah.
But what's a performance? I mean, wow. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. Yeah. She stopped her on her. Listen, she stopped a good boxer there as well.
Great boxer, yeah.
Stopped her from even wanting to continue. She didn't know where she was. The ref stopped her. She had no argument. She was like, yeah, no, all right.
Yeah. Has to be. I can't even believe that.
Monster. Big congratulations to her. And I wish
definitely
we're hopefully going to see her more and exciting fights coming up for her.
I don't even know what fights we could put her in that are going to be like. She's now ranked number 1. Caroline Dubois is the only fight. We know Caroline also hits hard, so I guess that's a good fight. But if I'm honest with you, I'm a fan of Caroline Dubois. I don't see how she handles that power.
Yeah.
Unless she knocks her out first. So that's a great fight. I'd love to see that. It'd be unification now for WBC and the IBF world titles. So why not? That's the fight to make. I like that. Also, Shabazz Massoud beat Peter McGrail in a good fight. Yes. A very good fight. I felt I'd hoped it would be a little bit more of a war, but Peter McGrail did really well. I think we both just sort of had it about a round for Shabazz Massoud. The judges gave it pretty much the same. No complaints. For Shabazz Massoud, I don't know what's next. We know who's at the top of the division. It's nowhere near 8. Shabazz ain't ready for that because I don't think anyone is, but Shabazz ain't ready for that. So my suggestion would be none of them
are ready for Junto or Mayu.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to be honest with you now.
So for Shabazz, I think the best option would be to move up in weight. But also, he's a fighter. He's going to want to fight the best. I'm sorry, but Shabazz Massoud's great at creating angles. He's got fast hands. He does everything well. But Naoya does everything better and hits like a truck, and that's the reality of it. So I just do not see a way that fight can happen this early. But well done for Shabazz winning again. Another good win. He's on a good little streak, actually, to be fair to Liam Davis, now Peter McGrail. And that's the Monte Carlo card. But we will not be understating Elif Turhan. I know we've mentioned her about 3 times already this episode, but I just want to keep mentioning her because I promise you, she's going to be on this show a lot. Her name will be coming up because that is the most entertaining female fighter I have watched in a long time. On par with watching Clarissa Shields outbox someone the way she can for 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And on par with the Katie Taylor-Amanda Serrano fights because of how dominant it was for Elif Turhan to just win against, just not just against anyone. I know some people may not know Beatrice Ferreira. We had it on the live stream. One of our regulars, AJ, who we very much appreciate, very honestly said, I've not heard of either of these two. Beatrice Ferreira is one of the best amateurs the females has produced in a long time. And if you'd asked Eddie Hearn when he signed Beatrice, I'm sure there's an interview out there, he would have put money on that woman going and unifying and not having any problems. And then we just got the dark horse that is Elif Nur Turhan coming up. So we can't understate that, but we do need to move on. Across the pond, we had Cruz and Roach. A disappointing card. Cruz and Roach drew. Roach, again, felt hard done by, but he had a point deducted for sort of dirty fighting. It's not a great fight. Foster beat Fulton. Somewhat surprised. I don't know. Fulton at the new weight. Fulton's best weight, I think, was 122, where Noah Inoue took him out. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I do like Stephen Fulton. He's a good fighter. And surprisingly, Erislandy Lara, 40 years old, 41 years old. Now, he obviously was meant to be fighting Janabek, who popped for Peds. But 42-year-old Lara got the job done. Knocked his opponent down twice across the 12 rounds, one by unanimous decision, one every round. Could we see him and Terence next?
It's a good fight.
I think it's a good fight. 160 pounds. Crawford
Terence
gets a new
wins,
decision.
though.
Oh, Terence wins easily, unfortunately. But it is a good fight. Lara's as a career, a brilliant fighter. Just how much has he got left? I'm not really sure.
No.
But he did have, at least he's had a good win. A
And
dominant win.
Also, when you mention him in the same breath as Terence Crawford, yeah, of
feels
course,
rude.
it's a good name for Terence Crawford to get on his record. We know how that fight goes. We're talking about a man who is this day and age closest comparison you'll get to Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, I mean, we know how that fight goes, but
Which fight?
Lara and Crawford.
Yeah, one-way traffic. It's one-way traffic.
Exactly. But unfortunately, if Crawford's not going to retire, which I don't want him to, I think he's got far more that he can still give to the sport, then he might as well fight. He might as well at 160 when just get a new weight division under the lock. So Erislandy Lara, I don't know if I'd say he's a legend, but he's been around for a long time and he's been winning for a long time. He's only really lost close fights. I don't think he's ever lost. Has he ever lost by unanimous? Mixed decision, 2 split decisions, and one of them was to Canelo. That's a prime Canelo.
Yeah.
So it's a good win. It's a good person to have on the resume. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But the real story across America is Frank Martin. The last time we saw him was at 135 against Gervonta Davis, where he was winning the fight and then he got his lights put out.
Mm-hmm.
But the ghost is back at 140. Looked like he didn't have problems with the weight this time. There was no issues. And he got a huge knockout. Most importantly, one knockout of the week. At 140 pounds, he causes a lot of issues for people.
Yeah. This is the issue.
But we are talking about the division with Shakur and Teofimo. It's a good division.
You know what? Yeah, I hope Roach does well. But, just to mention something from his last fight, do you think Gervonta Davis, obviously there was a draw with Lamont Roach.
Yeah.
Do you think, where does Gervonta Davis, all said and done, he's going to retire, yeah? And it links to obviously Roach because he drew against Roach. But all said and done, is he the most underwhelming great fighter just because of activity, focus?
I think so.
I would say so.
I think so. I think you can look you don't even have to include his outside of the ring antics, let's say. His best wins are and I know people don't like people. I don't like people don't like it when you say it, but it is true. A lot of Gervonta Davis's best wins are against fighters that were weight drained. Now, he didn't necessarily make them do that. He didn't force them to take those fights, but Ryan Garcia was, a paperweight. Frank Martin's eyes were sunk to the back of his head. Like, there were problems with the weight. And Gervonta Davis, for all that I think he probably beats those guys anyway, now might be retiring and might not fight again. And yeah, you almost have to say he's overrated. Underwhelming is a great word for it. He is underwhelming. We were talking about him versus Haney, him versus Shakur. We're not going to get any of those fights anymore.
No. Because
Gervonta Davis is just not active enough. And I'm not sure he beats either of those two. Well, Haney's too big for him anyway. But if they fought, Haney would lose because Haney would have to come down and weight. And Haney, weight drained, just would not be able to withstand that power. Or get out of the way. But that's besides the point. Look, Frank Martin's on the map at 140. And he is a seriously good fighter. Just because he's not been around for a little while now. Frank Martin can fight. And if he's got punch power too, then he's a serious one for the division. And I'm a fan of his as well, and I hope he can win something as well because he's been around for a while. He's Errol Spence backed. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, man.
This weekend, alongside Badou Jack, we have the Matchroom card in Stockton. A lot of great fighters on it. Matchroom providing, again, back-to-back. Diego Pacheco versus Kevin Lele Sajo, who, out of name, people might not remember. But if you cast your mind back to 2021, it's 21, I've got the date up here, 18th of December, so almost exactly 4 years ago, Jack Cullen versus Kevin Lele Sajo. Kevin knocked Jack Cullen out to the body and did press-ups in the ring, which he was met with a huge amount of booing. And
yeah, I saw the clip of that earlier on.
Yes.
I saw the clip of that earlier on.
Yeah. People were not happy. But this is not a man that is afraid of being the away fighter.
And probably wasn't meant to win.
No, he was not. But he, since 2021, has not stopped winning. He is now 26-0, 23 knockouts. He's BoxRec have him 9th on their super middle rankings. And he's going up against, 8th on the super middle rankings in Diego Pacheco, who's 24-0. So we got a 50-0 fight. Great fight.
Big fight.
Not for any titles, but it's a really good place to see just how good Pacheco is because we hear a lot from Eddie Hearn, as we always do, but we do hear a lot from Eddie Hearn telling us how good Pacheco is and he's going to do this, he's going to do that. We now are going to have proof in the pudding here because if he beats Kevin Sajo, then absolutely Pacheco's the real deal. And if he doesn't, then he's a young fighter, he can come back. We've also got Joe Cordina making his return, I believe second fight, of the year. Still kind of making his way back after the Kakachi loss, but this is a much harder fight against Gabriel Flores Jr., who's 27-2. So big fight for Cordina, who has moved up to lightweight. So it's sort of fight at the 135 pounds now, so a heavier Cordina, maybe a better Cordina. And we've also got Sky Nicholson fighting, looking to keep her WBC interim super bantam title against Juliana Luna Avila. A good fight. And other than that, Ernesto Mercado. This fight got good. 17-0 versus Antonio Moran, 31-7. A good fight. Moran's been around for a long time. Mercado probably wins that quite easily, but it is a good fight. And Chev Clark is also on the undercard. Is that the first time he has fought? It is the first time he's fought since Vidal Riley needs to get back to winning ways. He has lost to Leonardo Mosquera and then Vidal back to back. So he's in quite an easy fight, but mentally
they got to try it. They got to build him up again.
Exactly.
He's a talent, but it's like he's such a tough division, though, man. It is a really, really tough division. I don't know, man. Like, yeah, he's just in a tough division. There is a chance of you losing fights. I feel like in other divisions you could probably climb up a lot quicker to world level, establish yourself, and go and win potentially a title. But I feel like that weight is not one that is easy, to be honest with you. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Chef Clark does in that fight.
Definitely, and his opponent's 9-9. We're not talking. This is not Vidal Riley again. So this is a fight that I expect Chev to win, and he should make it look easy. But given his last 2 fights, he was completely outdone by Vidal Riley. He had a horrible, hard fight against Mosquera where he did lose, but it was horrible and it was not nice. Wouldn't have been nice to be involved. So he just needs to get back to winning ways. So hopefully he can do that. It's a very good card. I've got to say, Matchroom have kind of killed it this year.
Yeah, they smashed it, to be fair.
Yeah.
So
have Queensbury, but it's just Matchroom.
Matchroom Queensbury. We go back to that whole promote rivalry. And, they're miles ahead of their competitor or competitors at the moment. And
very much so.
And to be honest with you, that is just purely down to the catalogue of fighters they've got. They've got a massive catalogue of fighters. I mean, if you ever go and get a chance to just understand, a lot of shade gets thrown Eddie Hearn's way, but if you go and just Google Matchroom signed fighters and just scroll through the list and do the same with Queensbury as well, it's a joke. It's actually a joke.
It's ridiculous.
So I think Matchroom have got 91 fighters signed to their promotion currently.
Sounds right, yeah.
91 fighters. And it enables them to put on great cards up and down the country in America. I feel like Eddie Hearn's kind of established himself over there a lot.
Definitely.
Not more than I'd say Queensbury in America.
Yeah, I mean, Jaron Ennis, Bam Rodriguez, he's signing the sort of pound for pound future of America, really.
Yeah.
He's even got the likes of Zachary and Moses, the sort of younger fighters that are big over there. So
yeah,
he's definitely.
But exciting to see. It'd be another good card. I do like the Matchroom card, so be interesting to watch.
And then the sort of final thing in the weekly roundup. Last week we obviously had the big story about Terence Crawford, about the fees that WBC are saying he needs to pay. We've had there's been a lot of backlash for both the WBC and for Terence Crawford, surprisingly. The likes of Eddie Hearn are very much of the opinion that if you want to fight for Undisputed, you knew the price. That's the price you got to pay. Which I kind of agree with, but I just don't like the fact that it's going to the WBC, who I'm just not keen on how they're spending that money. But whatever. It's a fair point to make. Terence Crawford fought for Undisputed. He should follow the rules. Equally,
are they rules though?
Procedures, rules. I don't know.
They're
clearly not rules. As in,
a rule is something that is put in place, and should you break that rule, there'll be consequences.
Yeah.
And in this case, the only consequence is you can't have that belt, or you can't.
Yeah, I mean that's a consequence. He's been stripped. It's
that's
just
not
a rare occasion.
In the grand scheme of things, when you're earning 50 million on a fight,
you don't care.
You do not care about that, so it's not a consequence. A consequence for me would be a legally binding contract to say.
Well, I don't understand why it's not a binding.
But
why is
this
it not?
This goes to my point though. How much these things are just like kind of donations essentially, because
It feels like it. Yeah.
if it's not legally binding, then it's the fighter's choice. It's a donation that they're making to fight for that belt. They haven't legally signed anything because if they did, Mauricio's chasing the money, which I don't believe he is. And it's the same with Bam Gardner. Same situation with her back in September. We were saying earlier on. She doesn't want to pay the fees. I think MVP's promotion had come out and said, you want to fight for all the stripes and you have to pay the fees and stuff like that. But an interesting point I saw on one of the posts, and it was actually a professional bare knuckle boxer that said this.
Right.
Maybe fighters are realizing they've got more power. Like, it goes back to the point. Like, do we need these boxing? Do we need all these belts? No, I don't think we do. It's great if I see someone I like winning one. Yeah, great. Like, to become a world champion, it's a dream of many boxers. But the logistics of these organizations and how they run puts like a sour taste on it. Especially from the point of view of like the WBC specifically. Some of the decisions they've made over the last couple of years have been nothing short of a joke. So there's no set ranking system that is fair to the fighters because, we go back to the point, and I know we've mentioned it before, but Pacquiao retired for 4 years, comes back, gets WBC title shot, and then he's ranked number one as a challenger. What the hell is that all about?
That's just disrespectful to every other WBC ranked fighter. Like, makes a mockery of it. That's the thing. I think a big point is who took it public first. It wasn't the fighter. Crawford didn't come out and do his Instagram live. He only did that because Maurizio Sullivan made stupid comments at a convention. It wasn't a story. Nobody was questioning what was going on between them. It was only when Maurizio Moneyman Sullivan comes out and does his little slap in the face, all this kind of passive-aggressive, stupid bullshit. And suddenly now it's, Crawford's going to respond. Because in what world is Terence Crawford not going to respond? He's not going to have you drag his name. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying to you. It's like let me just run through something with you, yeah?
Yeah.
WBC's notorious judging decisions involving WBC titles, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go through three, just very quickly. So I know we're running out of time.
That's right.
Pernell Whitaker beat Jose Luis Ramirez, I think it was 1988, before our time.
Okay.
But this doesn't surprise me. Whitaker appeared to dominate the fight in Paris for the WBC lightweight title, but lost a highly controversial split decision, leading his promoter to publicly label then WBC boss Suleiman a thief. The outcome was widely seen as a fix to ensure a future all-Mexican unification fight for Ramirez.
Yeah.
Lennox Lewis v. Holyfield, their first fight for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship, which included the WBC strap, was scored a split decision draw despite Lewis largely dominating the action, landing more than twice the punches that Holyfield threw in the fight. The decision was met with a huge public outcry. It was on the front pages of like New York newspapers at the time. Again, 1999, before our time.
Yeah.
You go down to recently, the worst decision they made was the way that they gatekeeped Deontay Wilder with the title. 2 years straight, Dillian White was a mandatory for 2 years.
Yeah.
And never got that title shot against Wilder in a prime when I would argue that
I think Dillian White could have done it and maybe would have.
Could have done it then in that time when we had that Dillian White. Could have beaten Deontay Wilder. Again, the WBC didn't enforce it. So it's a very corrupt organization, but it does raise the further question of these boxing boards have got too much power. Yeah. So I'm here for Terence Crawford not paying his fees and all these people because you know what? It's one of those to all of them.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been doing it to fighters for years. Now fighters do it to them. The fighters are the ones that get in the ring and risk their thing. That money goes to, and I think I agree with Terence Crawford when he said this, that money goes towards their flashy dinners, their hotels to travel around the world. I don't believe that it goes to a fighter's charity. Absolutely, I don't believe that much goes to a fighter's charity. I'm not saying he don't donate money to charity.
Well, so this is what they've said. They've said a percentage of that money. That could be 1%. Like, this is where I have issues with it. If I would actually, and I genuinely, if Maurizio Sullivan came out and said 90% of that money, of that sanctioning fee, goes towards a fighter's charity that is for ensuring that fighters have help after boxing, then I'd be like, Terence, I think you should pay up. I think you should. But the fact is, we don't know how much of it's going. Clearly, they're not willing to tell you how much is going towards it. So it's like,
he's
not going to pay it. I've
got absolutely zero respect for I call him. He's a leech. He's a leech on boxing. The two other decisions which I think are just very quickly to highlight. Ngannou, despite losing to Tyson Fury, was given a top. I believe it was a top
40,
top 10 ranking within the WBC. Yeah.
Top 10?
Yeah, no. It's not there now, but he was issued a top 10 rank. He was issued a top 10
number
rank.
10.
He was number 10 after losing to Tyson Fury.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mental.
And then questionable fight decisions. And again, I think these two are very good boxers, but they haven't consistently been fighting at this weight. Conor Benn and Devin Haney.
Yeah.
Giving a top 5 welterweight ranking to inactive fighters like Conor Benn and Devin Haney, who are not consistently fought in the welterweight division.
Hey, Haney's different. Haney's a more standard because he's been WBC champ at 140.
Yeah, but that's fine. But that's 140. That's 140 though. Like this,
I know, but
you see, for example, you see,
when a champion comes up, they're a champion in recess at 140. There is a ruling they're allowed to get a shot at the weight class up. So
no problem.
That I'm okay with. Conor Benn is at 160. That's 2 divisions separate, and he's not a world champion. So that's that. You are right. That is a problem.
So there's multiple issues, but it always seems to be the WBC. Don't get me wrong; the others have made mad decisions, but I'm just highlighting the WBC because they've jumped on their high horse of coming out and publicly trying to humiliate fighters. If they don't want to pay it, they don't want to pay it. You obviously can't force them to do it because if you would, you'd be taking them to court. So that makes me say you've got no power whatsoever. And I just say, be gone with them. Be gone with them or Turkey buys them out. Or have one person running all of the belt divisions, all the belts. I understand the belts are an important segment or a staple piece to boxing and history. I'm not saying get rid of all the belts and not have people defend them, but there needs to be one governing body managing all of that, not 5 separate ones.
Definitely.
That's all I got to say on it.
No, I think that's fair, and I think we'll be talking about this a lot more in future because I really can't see a way that this doesn't get brought up. Crawford's one of the biggest names in the sport. He's set a bit of a standard now. It will be interesting to see if people
follow through, and I hope they do.
Yeah, that is the weekly roundup. Boxing this week 73. We're approaching the 100th episode, which is pretty mental, but that is everything for this week. Normally we do have a little extra segment, but we thought this week it's a bit rushed. Let's just keep it with a weekly roundup. Let's just keep it with the news. And Knockout of the Week, of course, was brilliant this week as well. So we thought that is enough. Next week, however, we are going to be ranking whether or not fighters are overrated or underrated in a new segment called Perfectly Rated or something like that. It might change. Depends if I can think of a better name. If we can think of a better name, we'll have a better name. We will also be going through a weekly roundup. We will also have Knockout of the Week. And you will have seen last week, Friday, we have compilations going out. Paolo's got a short video going out every day. We've got a lot of stuff going out right now. I want to do a huge shout out to DFC very quickly because that is boxing this week as well. On Sunday, myself and Paolo were at DFC 10. Congratulations to them for doing 10 shows. It's a hard business.
Congratulations to us, bro. It's all of us.
Well, us, but I've only been involved for 3 or 4 shows, so it's congratulations to everyone, man. 10 shows. It was a brilliant show on Sunday as well. We had Lee Cook regaining his heavyweight DFC title. We had Brad Fowle winning in a that was a really good fight. And the way he did it was brilliant. We had K1 fights that Marlon had set up. The events are incredible. All in Ball in Maidstone, who are also brilliant. The staff there, really nice as always. But I just want to put their links in the description. And I know we say about it sometimes anyway, but I really just want to say, if you can, obviously follow us. That is the first message. But the second message, definitely go follow them. It's worth it. They've got some great events coming next year, which obviously I can't say anything about, but we know that they've got great events coming next year. And that's Box This Week 73. That is Box This Week 73. Paolo, do you have anything you'd like to say to the people at home?
Mauricio Suleiman is a thief. Good night.